Yeah, hi, hello, and welcome. We are broadcasting live from GlobalAIPreneurs, the premier global gateway and unified operating system for trusted AI enterprises. Right now, we are witnessing an unprecedented paradigm shift. The AI landscape is expanding exponentially, stretching across 8 plus categories and over 120 distinct technologies. Yet, this explosion has brought an unintended bottleneck. Enterprise buyers are facing severe decision paralysis, investors are swimming in unwetted noise. And brilliant founders remain isolated from the cross border institutional bridges they need to scale. The results are clear capital inefficiency and deployment friction. Promoted by the Global Council for the Promotion of International Trade and the Global Council for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, Global AIpreneurs was built to change that narrative. We are moving decisively past passive directories. We are a multi-layer engagement engine spanning technical, operational reviews, and community rankings, connecting enterprises demand directly with trusted AI supply. Operating across our primary global hubs in India, Singapore, UAE, Saudi Arabia, the USA, the UK, Switzerland, and the EU, South Africa, Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria. We are bridging the gap between raw potential and institutional deployment. Today, as part of our knowledge interview series, we are chatting the future of this ecosystem, joining us as a leader who embodies exactly what it means to build with high intent, high density, and observed impact. Julia, thank you for joining us today to help shape the future of global AI premise. Julia is an accomplished organizational consultant, leadership coach, and transformation expert with over 15 years of experience helping organizations navigate change across Europe. As the founder of Consilium, she specializes in organizational transformation, AI integration, leadership development, onboarding strategies, intercultural collaboration, and future ready workplace cultures. Having worked by these leading enterprises, including Schwarz Group, Aldi Nord, ITK Classic, and McDonald's, Julia combines strategic consulting with practical execution to help organizations successfully integrate AI, strengthen leadership capabilities, and build sustainable cultures where innovation thrives. Operating across 8 European countries, she is passionate about ensuring the technology transformation succeed by placing people, trust, and organizational readiness at the center of every change of initiative. Thank you, Julia, for joining us. Over to you.
Thank you for the warm welcome. So thank you again for the warm words. My name is Julia Remih-Zumbusch, but please just call me Julia. That's fine enough, because I like a close relationship to people. That's why I always introduce myself like Julia. As you said, I'm an organizational consultant based in Northern Germany, and I've been working at the intersection of organizational development, transformation, and AI integration for over 15 years now. So I'm also getting those the first gray hairs as time passes by. So today I want to share 3 things with you. What I actually do with AI in my own daily work, where I see AI heading over the next 3 to 5 years, and what I believe is the decisive question, or what the decisive questions are when you're trying to scale AI adoption inside organizations or across borders. This is not a theoretical talk, so everything I'm going to show you is grounded in real client work and in my own practice. So I think let's just skip into my slides. Let's go into it. So before I dive in, just again, one quick word about who I am. My work focuses on 3 areas: onboarding, as you said, organizational transformation, and AI integration. I work predominantly in the DACH region and across Europe with clients ranging from small international or from large international organizations to small and middle-sized companies. So there is no border for me. I work actually with everybody who's prepared to transform himself to develop. The quote you can see on this slide captures something I really believe deeply in. Development begins not in grand strategy process, but in the moment when someone joins and feels I belong here, I'm needed, and I can grow. This is the idea I bring to AI. The question is not what does technology make possible, but what does it do to people, and how can we design that well that both can be combined, but there won't be any conflicts or any burden. So now we need to talk about some practical things and practical expertise, and especially about 3 AI automatizations that have generally changed my work and made it a little better for me and more comfortable. So no theoretical use cases, daily practice on the next slide. I want to be honest with you right at the start. The way I used to talk about AI some years ago was more aspirational than practical. That changed when I stopped reading and really, jumped into it and dived into it and started using it. And then I noticed what actually happened, what improved, and what get better. And I just want to point out 3 optimizations which made my life just a little bit easier, and they're quite similar, quite easy, but very helpful. So the first thing I started some years ago to integrate into my life was email to calendar automation. Meetings are requests are extracted from incoming mails and prepared in my calendar automatically. That's just confirmed. I never manual copy time, name, or zooming or anymore. That sounds really small, but saves me around 30 minutes of daily work. The second one, or the second pillar, is AI augmented content creation. What helps me concerning my presence on LinkedIn, creating articles or any proposals, or even concepts for clients. I refine them and then decide. There are 3 pillars working with those content creation tools: think, use AI, and then reflect to avoid any hallucination or not real results AI presented to you. So no longer a face. I didn't need any longer to face a blank page. So what used to take 90 minutes now takes about 20 minutes. And my job shifted from creating to more curating. And the output, honestly, is a little sharper, more emotional, more snackable. Well, I always called it, because before my way to create content was to put to insert as much information as possible. What made me look like a lecturer, what I actually also do at some universities, but that's not that's not a stackable content which reaches out to people. So a lot of people would have skipped my content, and this really changed. The third thing I used to implement was HeyGen. HeyGen plus ChatGPT and also Claude. What did I do? ChatGPT writes the script. HeyGen renders it as a professional avatar videos. So there was no need for me to present myself in front of the camera. What Zazimam also very helpful some days. No camera, no studio, no editing. So only what was required was a professional setup, professional prompt for HeyGen, which was produced by ChatGPT. And this could be easily done on a Tuesday afternoon or just any other day. So these 3 pillars together have meaningfully reduced the time I spend on low value work, which needs to be done, but which is actually not paid. And the time goes now into client conversations, thinking, and strategy. So there is more space for really work which produces progress for anybody, for me or for my clients. And that's the whole point, which I share at this point also to encourage other people to really open to AI. The next slide we need to talk about is about what I do in practice with AI. First, before we talked about how I use it for myself, and now we need to talk about how it improved my work working with clients, and how can clients use or implement AI in special cases. So let me make this concrete with a client example. A regional logistic company came to me some years ago with a problem, and the situation was like that 28% of their new hires were leaving within their first 6 months. That's quite a big problem for a small company, because if they spend more time in hiring you have no time to really use the value of those people. So the HR department was managing onboarding entirely via email and spreadsheets. There was no structure, no visibility into who had received what information, no way to track how people were actually settled in. And new hires consistently described the experience as being dropped in rather than being welcomed and being seen. And here's what I did. We redesigned the entire onboarding journey from scratch using what I call a human-centered model. So that means 3 things in practice were done. Fully clarity before day 1. A structured 90-day path with clear milestones and a buddy program with guided conversation templates. So the relationship wasn't left to chance. So we used no AI code tools to automate check-in reminders and track completion. HR shifted from being to administrators to being relationship builders. So the most important thing, all people were seen and felt this. What is the most important thing during every process?
Yes. Thank you, Julia, for that insightful and inspiring presentation, your perspective on organizational transformation and AI adoption. So that gives valuable insights for global AIpreneurs community. I would like to ask you a few questions on your vision on experience and greater depth. So my first question is, throughout your career, you have emphasized that successful transformation begin with people rather than the technology. So as AI continues to reshape organizations worldwide, how can startups and enterprises create culture where employees embrace AI as an opportunity for growth rather than viewing it as a threat?
The fact is, structure creates clarity. So you can use everything and anything, like you see it on the screen. I didn't finish so far, but let's pick that up. There are OKRs, Berlin Scorecard, Scrum, Design Thinking, or any other tool. You can apply that with rigor, and any of those systems can work. They're fully developed and really bring value to a system. But at the moment, a framework comes as a top-down blueprint to a company. Some things that handed to people rather than built with them, you will lose exactly what you were trying to build. Ownership, alignment, and belonging. And this is what I want to point out again, because in every case, even if we talk about large companies, middle-sized or small companies, the point is the same. People are adaptable, yes, and the work will they work inside a framework, or they work with frameworks, but they're not machines, and you cannot optimize the human behavior the way you optimize a workflow. So it always comes back to the thing that it needs to be human-centered. So the question is, if a framework works alone, yes, it does, but what are the actual dimensions of human experience in a company that you need to take care of? What do they feel? And how you will introduce the change?
Yes. So that's very insightful. So thank you for sharing that perspective on the valuable insight. So I'd like to move my next question. So you have worked with major European enterprises, helping them navigate organizational change, leadership, and AI integration. From your experience, what are the most common mistakes organizations make when introducing AI into existing workflows, and how can leaders ensure successful adoption from both a business and human perspective?
Actually, that's also easy to answer, because the most thing they do wrong is that they don't think about the human component in their company, and they give no attention to it. There is no interest, and this is why, maybe to point that out and to speak positively, I did invent the Mensch-Tech model. So Mensch-Tech is actually German, which is hard to translate. It means something like rhythm of human being, the pools of what makes people feel connected and purposeful in their work. So, and just to describe that, the model has 5 dimensions, and those 5 dimensions also structure and point out what people do wrong. actually. So let's just reframe it and speak positively. And each one of those dimensions has a direct implication for how you integrate AI into your organization. So the first one is attention. What we call in German Aufmerksamkeit. AI must be configured to notice the individual, not just to aggregate data points. There is a big difference between personalization that serves the person, personalizations that just processes them. So if your AI system does not distinguish between the two, you've built a very efficient way of ignoring people. The next pillar is interest. So an employee who feels generally heard in the change process will adapt faster. As you see, it's always the same point. So this is just not an ethical statement, it's a practical one. So a consultation is not a nice to have, it's how you build your real buy-in. So when you skip it, you save 2 weeks in planning and lose 6 months of resistance. So you see, if you reframe it, you see the mistakes a lot of leaders do. So the next one is reliability. Trustworthy AI is predictable and explainable, reasonable. So people need to know where to rely on its output and when to question it. What I described at the beginning with think first, use AI, and reflect. So the clarity is not optional. Without it, you get either blind overtrust or total rejection, and both of which are really, really dangerous. So the way your people or your employees think needs to be questioned in the future. And this is what is currently not a big topic in companies. It doesn't matter which size. And the next one is resonance. Technology resonates when it fits how people actually work. So not how designers assume the world. Co-design is how you build resonance at scale. And an AI tool built without people will use it as a tool that will sit unused, because maybe the look like the way it's designed does not fit to the way people are used to work. Could be just a simple thing, or to the process they're used to. So, and the next one to finish the dimensions is the point of belonging. And the question is if people still feel needed after AI integration, because a lot of people fear before any invention comes to life or comes to process that they could be in danger, right? That they could be replaced. So do they feel their contribution still matters? And if not, the system may function, but the organization will not. So people don't resist AI because they're irrational. They resist it because they're asking a very reasonable question: where do I fit in this new picture? And this is over decades, over hundreds of years, still the same question when an invention came up. And so the 5 dimensions reveal what are the most severe mistakes a leader could do. Yeah, just with a positive speaking solution on their hand.
Yeah, it's very interesting way to look at it. So moving to our next question, you often describe onboarding as cultural building rather than a simply an administrative process. So as AI startups scale rapidly across international markets, how can founders build strong organizational cultures that foster collaboration, innovation, and psychological safety from the very beginning?
Continually talk to people. That's I think a really short answer. Maybe you didn't await that, but it comes down to that. Ethical decisions or every cultural points are about transparency, and transparency means talk, make it visible, be open to your people, be transparent with your employees about what AI does not decide. Watch for bias in AI support decisions, like in hiring. This is a lot of big companies make mistakes with that. For instance, Google or Amazon. Other cases of performance management. Care about the data you're working with, and establish clear accountability. When AI is wrong, who's responsible? That's also an answer which need to be a question which need to be answered.
Yeah.
So there will be plenty of new jobs within the next years.
Yes. Thank you for highlighting those points. That leads us for next question. You have worked combined leadership coaching, organizational development, and AI transformation. As businesses leaders prepare for the next wave of intelligent automation, what leadership qualities and organizational capabilities will become most critical for building resilient AI-enabled enterprises over the next 3 to 5 years?
Over the next 3 to 5 years? Actually, it's a good question because right now most organizations are in an automation phase. So AI currently handles specific repeatable tasks, scheduling, drafting, summarizing, translating, and this is valuable. This is where productivity gains are visible and measurable. So, but what we need to point out is that the circumstances are the spot the company is in needs to be open for AI. So, and if we're talking about reality in Europe, a lot of spots are still not. So, what I describe now is meant to spots which are already related to AI, and I think by next year, leading organizations will be operating in what I'd call process intelligence. So AI won't just assist with individual tasks; it will connect across tools and workflows. So agents will handle multi-step processes with minimal human input. So interface shift from apps to outcomes. You don't ask the software to schedule a meeting. You ask to find it a time, to prepare the invitation, prepare the briefing, and follow up afterward. One intention or coordinated execution. By 28, we look forward. We're looking at agentic ecosystem where autonomous agents can collaborate, learn, and adapt in real time. They can also be part of a meeting as a normal human being. And what humans should do is they should define intent, values, and not any individual steps anymore. But not for now. Again, I come back on the reality check. Not every organization, this needs to be stressed out. Will get there at the same time, because some, as I said, are really familiar with AI. Some and those ones will adapt really faster. And another thing is, as I already mentioned, security standards. So once you use AI, you need also develop an department, security department for AI, for data care. And I don't just mean the legal things, but you have to keep them in mind, and that you put them into your processes. Well, legal things are very strict in Europe, not everywhere in the world, but that's not what I mean. So let's sum it up with data security, because that nobody can reveal any business secret just to due to a lag or a hidden door in any AI system. This could be a real problem for companies.
Yeah, those are some excellent points. Let's explore my final question. So, where Global AIpreneurs aims to build one of the world's most trusted ecosystems, connecting AI founders, enterprises, investors, and government. Based on your experience helping organizations successfully adopt transformation, what is the biggest barrier preventing AI startups from moving beyond successful pilots into enterprise-wide adoption? And how can initiatives like Global AIpreneurs help bridge the gap?
I will come back to the quote I started with, people are adaptable, but they're not machines. Because the question is still how you start leadership. So even if the circumstances are changing and developing, and we're moving to agentic system, the way of how we treat people and how we work together is still the same. So be modest, ethic person, and develop yourself. Not just develop your people, also develop yourself, because what also science showed in the last years, your employees are, concerning mom effect, are not as honest as you think to you and your decisions. So shape a culture for progress, which means that people openly can talk about things that needs to be considered, that maybe needs to be improved. So no innovation, just known things, which really needs to be more stressed, more lived.
I think that gives our audience a lot to reflect on. So, what an exceptional and insightful conversation to your visionary speaker, Julia. Thank you for sharing your expertise and practical wisdom with the Global AI-Trainers community. So, to everyone joining us from around the world, thank you for being part of today's session. The future of artificial intelligence will be shaped not only by technological breakthroughs, but also by international collaboration, responsible governance, and shared innovation. If you are an AI founder, innovator, investor, or enterprise leader looking to become part of this growing global ecosystem, we invite you to join us at Global AI Trainers. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, keep innovating, keep collaborating, and together let's build a trusted global AI future. Thank you for joining us today, Julia. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take good care.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.